it's personal.
Count on Local 3 News for the local stories that affect your life.
If you are a small business owner or an area entrepreneur, you could soon have a lot more money to put behind your business if you win TVFCU's Idea Leap grant. Applications open October 4th, and Marcus Johnson, who's here from TVFCU, just said, you know what, this is my favorite time of the year.
It is. This is the best part of my job.
So for people who don't know, y'all been doing these Idea Leap grants now for how many years?
This is our 8th time doing it.
And you have almost given away how much money?
By the time this is done, almost $1 million. We'll be at $975,000.
And that $975,000 will not have been distributed to 900 businesses to each take a little bit of money. You are very selective. They get a lot of money, the people who win.
Yes, absolutely. So each year for the past 3 years, we've chosen 15 winners. So 5 from our Northwest Georgia region, 5 from our Coley region, and then 5 here in Chattanooga. So $30,000 is the top prize, $15,000 the second prize, and $10,000. We give away 3 $10,000 grants. So if you think about that, that's a huge shot in the arm for any small business that's trying to be efficient, buy equipment, do whatever they need to do.
Once you begin having a conversation about the power of an incentive, it never ends. The conversation is then, oh yeah, and then this time, and then how about this? Many of the people who are coming into this and who will put their applications in this year, this is not their first time to try.
No, I mean, we often encourage folks to continue to apply each time. Several of our winners in the past have applied 2, 3, even 4 times. So that's one of the biggest things that I try to encourage the community to do is don't get discouraged if you apply once or if you apply twice. It doesn't cost you anything, right? But some time. But outside of that, just keep applying. And we've had several examples of folks who applied multiple times and been able to win.
Let's talk about that time, because I think it's really great what y'all have done. In the past, you had to kind of carve out some time because you had to get in there, do your application, and you couldn't stop and start. You've changed that.
We have changed that. So we've updated our platform. And so now business owners can actually create a sign-on and be able to stop and start the application as they wish, just as long as you submit it by November the 4th. But that was a big thing that we needed to do to improve the user experience. Because like you said, in the past, we'd post the application questions on the website, and we do a lot of messaging around, hey, once you start it, you got to complete it. And so finally, we've come up with the capability to be able to allow business owners to create a username, a password, and be able to go in, read the questions, think about it, come back, so that they can be prepared to provide the best essay questions on the applications they can.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I think that's where it will be very tricky, because you're thinking, okay, what are other people answering to this question? Is the key to be authentic?
Yeah, definitely the key is to be authentic, and also to drill down on what it is that you do or your business does in the community, right? So one of the things that I try to encourage business owners to do is just think about how you volunteer or how your company volunteers. Some folks will say, well, I'm just, a sole proprietor. I'm just a one-person shop. So I do things, but my business doesn't. Well, all of that counts, right? Because the reason why that's important to us is because this Idea Leap grant is the credit union being intentional about reinvesting into the community. And so, of course, we want to understand, well, what does the business owner do to make their community better, right? The next thing is just being able to be very detailed around what you would do with $30,000 or what you would do with $15,000, right? Try to quantify what that means for your business. So if you need a piece of machinery and you're making, 6 widgets by hand, but if you got a piece of machinery, you could make 6 widgets in 2 minutes, right? Help us to really understand the economic impact that this grant would have on your business and ultimately the community. So those are the really key things that we try to drive home whenever we're talking to people about what to put in the application. It's incredibly competitive, so we get a lot of cool stories, a lot of great backstory about what made someone jump into entrepreneurship. And it's a lot of fun just going through the applications, and as you can imagine, it's extremely difficult trying to dwindle it down to the top 5.
I think it's interesting if you begin, I tend to be the person who thinks about a business being a brick and mortar business. I'm going to go in and buy a widget. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, you see all types of businesses apply to you.
Yeah, we see all types of businesses. So that's a great point. Yes, we have your traditional brick and mortar businesses, but we have some folks who are traveling around. We get plumbers and electricians and barbers and work from home folks who are in the tech space. So we get a wide spectrum of different types of industries and entrepreneur types to apply for our grant, and that's exactly what we want, right? We don't want this to feel like, well, I only have to be in this industry to have a good chance of winning, right? We want our 17 county communities to understand that, hey, if you own a business, we want you to apply.
You did mention the 17 counties. So you kind of have 3 regions, right? There's
Yes.
Bradley County, North Georgia, and then Hamilton?
Yes, so the Bradley County we're calling that our Ocoee region, and then Northwest Georgia region, and then our Chattanooga region. So that all 3 of those regions capture our counties. And the reason why we did that is because the credit union several years ago was growing. And so we wanted to make sure that, again, we were hyper focused about making sure that we were investing into these businesses in their specific communities, and we were fortunate enough to be able to stretch it out and increase the pot, right? And so now it'll be another $225,000 in total that will be awarded across all 3 of our regions.
I was in Ellijay, Georgia yesterday talking to somebody at an apple orchard, and in his apple orchard the conversation got to what it is to be a good business person. There's a specific kind of skill set that you have to have. So there could be some people watching today who don't yet have the business, but they feel like they have that drive to do it. They can't apply to the Idea Leap grant, but can't they talk to the credit union about getting started?
Absolutely. So the Idea Leap grant was born out of our Idea Leap loan. And so our Idea Leap loan is the startup financing that we provide to new and early stage businesses. To your point, right? You have the idea in your head, now you just need the capital to take it out of your head and actually put it in motion. So our Idea Leap loan allows business owners to do that. But one of the key credentials to being able to apply for the Idea Leap grant is, yes, you have to be in business at least a year at the time that you apply for the grant, generating revenue. So it's more than just, I've had my LLC for a year, I can apply. You have to actually be selling your product and generating revenue, because at some point during the process, we do ask for financials just to verify.
Okay, so you've got a few days before the application process opens up online, October 4 to November 4. Here's where you go, tvfcu.com. Follow the prompts to get you there, and this year you can have a cup of coffee, go downstairs, put the laundry in, and come back up and keep on going.
Keep on going, absolutely.
Best of luck. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Flat, dull, lopsided.